Here's an annual spectacle that is worth the price of admission. And this to me is worth buying this dry pollen substitute just so you can witness this. The bees are very gentle when foraging this, more gentle than they are foraging on open syrup. And the sound is incredible. The spectacle is incredible. The wind has died down here, thankfully, so they're able to get in, pick up some dry supplement, and take it home. Baby food. Got to feed the babies. Got to brood up. So this is a nice feeder. I really like it. I'll try to open it one-handed. So that's what's in there. Wallow in this stuff. They just like a bunch of little pigs. Get all covered and then they fly away. It's hilarious. Okay, this is, it's actually Good Friday. I'm trying not to do too much work, but this is the first day that I can really get in here and open up these colonies. I try to get my Apiary in 1st of April, and today is April the 2nd, so I'm a day behind already. But yesterday was okay, but the wind was just terrible. And I should not have started to make this video because as soon as I do that, the wind comes up. And you can't hear me. But it's 10C out here. Without that wind, it's actually a pretty decent day. I'm not in shorts yet, but I considered it. So today is adding some pollen patties. They're supplement. They're not actually pollen. Protein substitute, and I've got two kinds I'll show you, and plus I need to add the Apiary that I mentioned. So we've got to get to work, and thanks for watching. Okay, I've got the smoker warmed up there, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I've got two kinds of patties here. One is a Man Lake Ultra Bee patty, and one is you buy it as a dry product, and then you mix it with syrup, pack it away in bags. Doesn't look as nice, and those are just little hamburger bags actually. It just makes it a little easier for me to handle. That is an All-Tech Bee Pollinate. I used that last year. They seemed to really like it, and I just had not quite enough to do this year, so I bought some Ultra Bee, which I've used every year previous. These are a nice patty. They're fairly soft, but not too soft. I keep these in my building so they're warm, you know, when I come out, and they're not terribly cold when I put them on the hive. Then I have the Apiary to get rid of those little varroa mites. You need to read that label, read the directions, and use it according to directions. I'll kind of show you what I'm doing here, but my instruction is no replacement for the label. The label is the law, not what I say. Alright, so I'll show you what I do with these. For the Apiary, I just kind of slice the package. It opens real easy, and then you can see the plastic strips inside. The package here says there are 50 strips, okay? And for the instructions say you add 1 strip per 5 frames of bees. if we're assuming that these colonies have 10 frames of bees, which they don't, but if we're assuming that they soon will, then you need 2 strips. They're kind of hard to rip apart, but you need to rip them apart. You can put a little toothpick or a nail or something through the hole in the top, or you can use the little tab. Some think the tab should go on top of the frame thusly. Some think the tab should stick into the comb just below the top bar. I've seen both suggestions. What the manufacturer has in mind, I'm not sure. Put some of these in and bring you along for the ride. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I've seen in this one before, I've marked a number on here. Just as a kind of a assessment evaluation. Look at the bees are right on that syrup. It's good. Good, they're appreciating what I give them. To clean up this comb. I've cleaned up most of it on the lid, but it's empty, there's no more feed in it, and I find that it kind of squashes the bees when I put the lid on. So I'll just use this box as a catch-all. Or I should say I catch most, or some. Okay, that's a bit cleaner now. Okay, so this is a pretty good hive. We've got quite a few bees. I'm going to put 2 strips of Apiary in here. Need to kind of make a place for it. Put it in. Got to put it in where the bees are going to rub on it. The physical contact thing. So 1 slot, and then you go tube over. I think it's 2. What do they say? Yeah, so instructions say you put that one in the slot, leave 2 empty slots, then put the next one kind of staggered a bit. That way you're covered when the cluster inevitably will move a bit. I'm trying to use the stick that thing in the comb theory with these. Let's see how that works. I've often used a toothpick in there, and that works great. It's just really finicky and fussy to put together. I might put 2 of these bee pollinates on here. They're not very big. I'll just leave it like that. Don't smush them. Put that lid back on. Alright, so that's 1. 99 to go. Well, that's not very interesting. I don't imagine. So that's 2 done, 98 to go. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Just maybe some of the new people never use something like that. See people ask questions, how do I do that? It's pretty easy. Just read the directions. The directions are clear. That stuff stays in there for 42 days and then another 2 weeks before I can put honey super on. And that's why I need to do it today. Because April 1st in means June 1st is my first day for honey supers. And we'll be into a dandelion flow by then. Dandelion flow is generally consumed by the bees, but it's still in the honey super. So I really need to get that apivar done. It breaks down in that time frame and it doesn't contaminate the honey or the honey supers after that. Alright, if there's anything more interesting, I'll turn this back on and show you more stuff. Otherwise, just got work to do. Back to work. You want somebody interesting to watch? Watch Mike Patey if you like aircraft. Mike Patey, P-A-T-E-Y. That's what he says, back to work. He's a very high energy guy. I really enjoy watching his videos. But I got to be in the mood because, boy, he's high energy. He seems like a really great guy. So, back to work. Okay, here's something you might find interesting. This colony, very, very tiny. This is a 2019 queen. It's a little bit old. And I suspect they had a bit of open feed in there, which really doesn't do them any good in the winter. So what I've done, I'll pull this off so that you can see. What I've done is I've taken 4 frames that they were on and put them in this little nuke box. Okay, you can see the little cluster there. Very small. But there's brood. There's a laying queen. Okay, that's what I need. So here's one of my screen boards, my double screen boards, inspired by Bob Binney. I respectfully call them my Binney boards. So what I've done here, it's a little different than Bob's. It's much smaller. Our climate is much colder, and I don't think in this climate the larger area, it maybe is a little bit too big for us. I've put my entrance to the rear, so we have this colony entrance here, and then the nuke will have entrance in the back. I had that on there, so there's bees. My strips on the side are removable, so it makes for a little bit trickier to set up, but I can use this for 10 frame box, 6 frame box, 4 frame, or one of my poly boxes. I can just move those side to side as I have different size of box. So put this back up on there, and so now that little nuke will get some heat from that colony. The downside is it's not insulated like those. So it's kind of a judgment call on my part. I wish it was insulated, but I think they'll benefit anyway. So 7/8 box is actually pretty warm. Look what's going on over here. This has gotten far more intense since I started. Well, they're robbing syrup that's leaking out of these pails. But look at this calamity. That's incredible. And I'm here with my bare hand holding this camera. They're banging into my hand, they're walking on me. They're not aggressive though. They're so focused on that forage. They're just everywhere. Look, I spilled some here earlier, so they're everywhere picking it up. I'll leave them to it. That's quite a spectacle. Okay, back to work. We'll get this thing put back together. And we'll leave them, hopefully they grow up a little bit. So what I can do with this is if I can just maintain this as a unit, I can requeen that with a fresh queen, and then they'll grow up. They just give me something to start with. Give me some brood, give me some bees. I don't need that to go very far. So that then I can add a queen to that. I can add a cell even, and requeen that into a, I mean, then it's already a split, right? And she's due to be requeened this year anyway. 2019, the 2019 queens will be killed this year, if they're good or not. And so hopefully they grow up into a decent little colony that I can requeen. Okay, back to work.